I just let the women figure it out, and I took a step back and kind of jumped in more.
Blake Lively's ongoing courtroom clash with Justin Baldoni has spiraled into one of Hollywood's most explosive legal dramas yet. Despite earlier hints of victory, her celebration may have been premature. Sources close to the case suggest she's entering full-blown meltdown mode after Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, dismantled her latest legal maneuver with precision and force. Friedman has been relentless, challenging why Lively suddenly dropped two of her key claims just before the June 23rd deadline. While her team dismissed his moves as mere publicity stunts, insisting they wanted the motion thrown out entirely, the legal tides seem to be shifting. What once looked like a win for Hollywood's golden girl is now beginning to resemble a strategic retreat under pressure. At the heart of the storm lies a staggering $400 million defamation lawsuit filed by Baldoni against Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and her publicist Leslie Sloan. Friedman alleges that this is not just a matter of reputation, but a deliberate smear campaign designed to dismantle Baldoni's career. He accuses Lively of using her public image and media influence to paint Baldoni as a villain, all while orchestrating what he describes as a carefully curated act of victimhood. The contrast between Lively's polished public persona and the turmoil behind the scenes could not be starker. One moment she's appearing carefree on red carpets or hosting lighthearted segments on SNL. The next, reports emerge of emotional breakdowns and deep regret. Her claims of harassment and retaliation during the filming of It Ends With Us initially positioned her as a brave whistleblower, with the media rallying behind her. Yet Friedman's counterattack reframes the narrative entirely, portraying Lively as someone who weaponized the court of public opinion to manipulate sympathy and destroy Baldoni's name. As the next court date approaches, the stakes couldn't be higher. What began as a dispute over creative control has evolved into a bitter public reckoning, one that threatens to shatter reputations and expose Hollywood's darker undercurrents. Whether Blake Lively can withstand the mounting pressure or this marks the beginning of her downfall remains to be seen. One thing is certain: the facade is cracking, and the world is watching. Blake Lively's legal battle continues to unravel as new claims add fuel to the already raging fire surrounding It Ends With Us. Actor On Sheen, who appeared alongside Lively in the film, has publicly challenged her narrative, alleging that she misrepresented their on-set interaction in her explosive sexual harassment lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. His statement adds a new layer of complexity to a case already steeped in accusations, counterclaims, and public scrutiny. Brian Friedman, Baldoni's formidable attorney, has gone far beyond simply denying Lively's allegations. In his latest filing, he accuses her of orchestrating a calculated campaign to damage Baldoni's reputation for her own personal and professional gain. According to Friedman, this was not an isolated act. It was part of a broader conspiracy involving her husband, Ryan Reynolds, and their shared agency, WME. He alleges that Reynolds played an active role in defaming Baldoni within Hollywood circles, pressuring industry executives to cut ties with him and effectively blacklisting him from future projects. The complaint paints a picture of a powerful couple leveraging their celebrity influence to silence and destroy an opponent. Friedman claims the result of this campaign was catastrophic for Baldoni's career, leading to canceled deals, lost film opportunities, and irreparable harm to his reputation. Central to the lawsuit is the staggering $400 million figure Friedman is seeking, an amount he argues reflects the total financial and professional damage inflicted by Lively's alleged falsehoods. In Friedman's words, this case is about more than just gossip or reputational bruising. It's about the devastating real-world consequences of weaponized accusations in an industry where image dictates everything. With each new revelation, the case is becoming less about a single film set dispute and more about the power dynamics, influence, and manipulation that lurk beneath Hollywood's glamorous surface. As the legal proceedings intensify, one thing grows increasingly clear: this is no longer a battle confined to the courtroom. It's a fight for credibility, careers, and the truth behind one of the most sensational controversies to hit Hollywood in years. Despite some of Blake Lively's claims being dismissed, Justin Baldoni still faces a tough legal battle as he continues to defend himself against her allegations of sexual harassment, retaliation, and defamation. Yet, according to his attorney, Brian Friedman, this case extends far beyond a simple legal dispute. Friedman has accused Lively of exploiting her powerful Hollywood connections to wage an organized campaign against Baldoni, one allegedly supported by elite industry figures and major agency clients, determined to preserve her image at all costs. Friedman argues that this isn't merely a courtroom fight, but a war for control of the public narrative. He paints Baldoni as a casualty of an industry that instinctively shields its most marketable stars, even when the facts tell a different story. We're witnessing a system, Friedman has suggested, where bullies are protected by both influence and law, free to destroy reputations while being legally insulated from accountability. According to court filings, the judge has allowed Friedman to amend 4 of the 7 claims against Lively, paving the way for the introduction of new evidence and a more detailed argument. The revised complaint, due by June 23rd, is expected to include explosive material that could reshape the trajectory of the case. Friedman has already hinted that the forthcoming documents will expose deeper layers of manipulation, retaliation, and behind-the-scenes pressure within Hollywood's power structure. As the tension mounts, the stakes for both sides could not be higher. For Lively, her carefully crafted public persona, the picture of composure, charm, and integrity, now faces unprecedented scrutiny. For Baldoni, it's a fight not just to clear his name, but to reclaim a career and reputation that he and his legal team say were systematically destroyed. With Friedman signaling that the most damaging evidence is yet to come, the stage is set for one of Hollywood's most dramatic and consequential showdowns, one that threatens to shatter illusions and expose the ruthless machinery that protects its chosen stars. The controversy surrounding Blake Lively's lawsuit has taken a darker turn, with growing speculation that her accusations may have been used as a strategic weapon rather than a genuine pursuit of justice. Critics have argued that the case exposes a troubling reality within the entertainment industry, how easily reputations can be destroyed through unproven allegations and how public narratives can be manipulated for personal or professional advantage. Brian Friedman, attorney for Justin Baldoni, has maintained that Lively's claims were not only false, but also deliberately timed. He points out that her allegations surfaced precisely when It Ends With Us was struggling with production delays and behind-the-scenes tension, suggesting that her lawsuit served as a calculated distraction and a means to deflect blame for the film's growing problems. According to Friedman, this wasn't coincidence. It was a move designed to protect Lively's brand while redirecting scrutiny away from her own role in the project's setbacks. Observers have also noted how Lively's team leaned heavily on emotional narratives and sympathetic media coverage, crafting a public image of victimhood that resonated widely online. However, Baldoni's legal team countered with a data-driven, evidence-focused strategy that directly challenged the foundation of her claims. Insiders close to the proceedings reported that Lively struggled to provide substantial proof to support her accusations, and that her composure faltered under cross-examination. Courtroom witnesses described moments where her confidence visibly cracked, particularly when Friedman introduced key exhibits that contradicted her earlier statements. These exchanges painted a less flattering picture of the actress, one of uncertainty and inconsistency rather than credibility. As public opinion begins to shift, the case now stands as a stark reminder of how quickly narratives can unravel once the facts begin to surface. What began as a powerful accusation has evolved into a broader commentary on the dangers of influence, timing, and the high-stakes manipulation of truth within Hollywood's tightly controlled image machine. Blake Lively's public narrative appears to be crumbling as accusations of manipulation and revisionism mount against her. What began as a seemingly righteous legal battle has evolved into a story of calculated image control, with even mainstream outlets starting to question her version of events. People magazine, once among her staunchest supporters, recently warned readers not to view her courtroom appearances as a victory lap, reminding the public that 4 of Justin Baldoni's 7 claims remain active and under review. While Lively may have briefly celebrated the partial dismissal of Baldoni's initial lawsuit, Brian Friedman's legal team is far from conceding defeat. They are preparing to refile by June 23rd, this time zeroing in on new allegations, specifically the role of WME clients in exerting pressure behind the scenes and Lively's on-set conduct during It Ends With Us. Insiders say the forthcoming amended complaint will be explosive, supported by concrete evidence that could dramatically shift the balance of the case. For many observers, the unfolding legal saga has become even more gripping than the film that sparked it. At its heart lies a clash of power, perception, and influence. Hollywood's golden couple, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, facing off against actor-director Justin Baldoni in a high-stakes battle where every move is scrutinized and every statement carries career-defining weight. The fallout is spreading beyond the courtroom. Lively's once spotless image is showing visible cracks, with some of her high-profile allies now under fire. Actress Salma Hayek, one of Lively's close friends, has drawn criticism for her ties to what detractors call Hollywood's culture of favoritism. Meanwhile, Lively's sister, Robin Lively, has attracted public attention for selling personalized video messages online, a curious move that many interpret as a sign of the family's growing unease under public scrutiny. In stark contrast, Baldoni's legal team has adopted a calm, methodical approach. Friedman's precise arguments and reliance on verifiable evidence have gradually shifted public perception in Baldoni's favor. His framing of the case, portraying Baldoni not as an aggressor but as a casualty of Hollywood's manipulative power structures, has resonated with audiences tired of the industry's double standards and selective moral outrage. As the countdown to June 23rd continues, one thing is clear: the fight is far from over. With Friedman promising new revelations and the media beginning to distance itself from Lively's narrative, this case may soon redefine not just reputations, but the way Hollywood handles truth, power, and accountability. The battle between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has evolved into far more than a courtroom confrontation. It's a cultural flashpoint exposing the power plays, hypocrisy, and manipulation lurking beneath Hollywood's polished exterior. What began as a dispute between 2 co-stars has become a defining showdown over truth, influence, and the cost of reputation in an industry built on perception. For many, Lively's actions have already left a lasting scar on Baldoni's legacy. Her allegations triggered a wave of negative press that overshadowed his career achievements and redefined his public image almost overnight. But Baldoni's countersuit changed everything. It wasn't just a defensive move. It was a full-scale counterattack, a declaration of war against what his legal team describes as a calculated smear campaign. Brian Friedman, his razor-sharp attorney, came armed with evidence, documents, and testimony designed to expose what he called the performative activism that Hollywood often celebrates while punishing genuine accountability. Friedman's argument is clear. This case is about more than reputational damage. It's about power, manipulation, and the unchecked privilege that allows influential figures to weaponize the media. He claims Lively's lawsuit was not a cry for justice, but a tactical move to destroy Baldoni's credibility, strategically timed to protect her brand during a period of creative turmoil for It Ends With Us. According to his filings, Lively's team exaggerated claims, coordinated leaks, and leveraged her status to turn public opinion in her favor, while a network of WME clients and Hollywood allies allegedly helped maintain her narrative. Baldoni's countersuit reframes the story entirely. It portrays him not as a predator, but as a man punished for refusing to conform, someone targeted by an elite machine because he dared to fight back. His legal team's filings describe a campaign of intimidation and manipulation designed to silence him through fear and humiliation. For Baldoni, this lawsuit became something larger than self-defense. It was a fight to reclaim his integrity and expose a system that protects the powerful while discarding the truth. Lively, meanwhile, continues to face mounting pressure. Her courtroom demeanor, once poised and confident, has reportedly faltered under Friedman's relentless cross-examination. Even sympathetic media outlets have started to backtrack, noting that while some of Baldoni's claims were dismissed, 4 major allegations remain active. Public sentiment, once firmly in her favor, is beginning to fracture as questions mount about her credibility and the authenticity of her story. As the June 23rd deadline for Baldoni's amended filing approaches, anticipation is building for what new revelations might emerge. Each development in this saga feels like another scene in a larger Hollywood drama, one where the lines between truth and performance blur more with every headline. For now, one thing is certain. Blake Lively may have controlled the narrative at the start, but Justin Baldoni and his relentless attorney are determined to rewrite the ending. The courtroom has become their battlefield, and the fight for truth has only just begun. Brian Friedman's courtroom strategy was as ruthless as it was precise. His mission: dismantle Blake Lively's credibility and leave nothing standing. And by all accounts, he delivered. What began as a carefully managed narrative in Lively's favor quickly unraveled under Friedman's relentless pressure, turning the courtroom into a stage for one of the most dramatic legal reversals Hollywood has seen in years. From the start, Friedman zeroed in on the inconsistencies in Lively's story: timelines that didn't align, alleged incidents without corroboration, and witnesses who mysteriously vanished when questioned. He hinted at evidence so damning it could change the entire trajectory of the case, sending the courtroom into a frenzy of speculation. Observers noted that Lively's team, once confident, began to falter, their composure slipping with each cross-examination. Lively herself, typically poised and polished, appeared visibly shaken as Friedman's surgical precision tore through her claims. Legal experts were quick to praise Friedman's performance, calling it a masterclass in strategic dismantling. His approach, measured, methodical, and merciless, left no room for theatrics. Every question was deliberate, every statement supported by documents or testimony. The result was devastating for Lively's side, whose narrative seemed to collapse in real time. Inside the courtroom, her reactions bordered on a meltdown. Outside, social media erupted with commentary, memes, and heated debates. For many spectators, this was no longer just a trial, it was a spectacle, and Friedman had become an unlikely legal rock